So we're not going to have very long program today, very short, but I'd like to say a few words about the importance of Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita in our life. First of all, can you hear me well? So here I'm in our art center. Just want to take a little walk through. So this is our place where in Thailand, next to our ashram, we have our own art center, this beautiful Ganesh with hologram. Hello. So we have a little cafe. And here we have immersive exhibition. Wow. So we have very powerful spiritual art in domes and immersive projection, and hologramic art and mapping projection of different art images. So here we have Mystic Universe exhibition. So this is our spiritual laboratory where we create content and working on immersive media.
Then we leave the confines of this universe and proceed to the sacred Shivaka. The home of the peaceful refuge, sanctified of the land.
This is quite interesting installation. When I chant mantra, it makes the sound. See me? Oh, oh. See, we have many sound reactive, inner reactive, and high-tech installations with different, just give you a brief idea where we are right now. So we built this Mystic Center in last year, a few months, or the new year. So now it's already open to public. It's not tourist season, but we're doing here art projects. So right now it's Pradyumna, Haribol. So here we have a sound art school. Hello. The art school here with Chinese and international team. And here we have sound healing universes, beautiful visuals. with our sound healing mystic studio. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You enjoying yourself?
Yeah, I am. Well,
Oh, come on.
I'll be enjoying myself more once this is all started.
Once you know what the true self is,
Yes,
you enjoy
there
even
you
more
go.
better.
Thank you. Nice
Cool.
to meet you.
Yes. So we're working as a art studio, as an art laboratory, and we're creating a lot of different immersive art. And so based in that laboratory, it's called 360 Art Center. It's a huge, huge place, which we got a few months back, next to beautiful Buddhist temple. It's a small Buddhist temple next to us. And so this art center is an amazing place where we developing spiritual ideas and to reality. So our idea is to show people what spiritual reality is. Therefore, we're not just trying to practice, we're also trying to preach. But as our gurus saw this, we try to preach with our new technology, and we're trying to create digital version of Vedic universes. So it's it's a very big challenge because there's many companies like Google, Meta with billions of dollars. They try to do this, but we try to do this blessings of Krishna and with our devotees. So therefore, it's the whole complete unique process where we're learning and practicing art, spirituality, music. We have a music team, we have art team, we have software team, we have so it's all combined together. And right now, today, we're at the Mahabharata meeting. So discussing some of our successful publishing in Poland, just published book in Poland. Hopefully we'll be publishing in Russia, America, India, and we'll promote this Mahabharata story in different languages. So due to our international project. So what I'd like to say is this is all effort of team, just like in Ukraine when we had the Vedlife Festival, we had a wonderful team of devotees, and working together we can achieve such an incredible, amazing results. So you can see, you can do things on your own. It's wonderful, you can practice, but when you join and you work together, that's more productive, way more productive. So as you understand, this is not just a team of one work, one man, it's the team of the whole global community from Ukraine, from Russia, from Thailand, from different parts of the world. And as we're working on that project, we more and more go deeper and deeper and deeper into things that we need to learn. Like we need to learn marketing, we need to learn social skills, we need to learn finances, we need to learn modern way that things work. So we're trying to not be isolated from modern environment, rather we want to be included into modern environment. And modern environment, it's a place for change. So the whole world is changing right now. And we believe that we have a great opportunity to offer to people. Everybody understand the consumer model of existence is not something the world should go on with. But we believe that Krishna consciousness is the great model where people can really participate in a spiritual way, not in a material way. Like for instance, Klaus Schwab say you will have nothing and you'll be happier. But in Vaishnavism, we say, Ishavasya Madam Sarvam, everything belongs to God, everything belongs to Krishna. So by understanding that everything belongs to Krishna, you must be happy because you also belong to Krishna. And Krishna is your ultimate father, mother, and everything. So by being connected with Krishna and realizing that everything belongs to Krishna, including yourself, does not create false proprietorship in your mind. But nobody really likes to think, oh, I'm slave of this man or I'm slave of that person. that's not really what people want. They're willing to fight for that. But the idea that Krishna has ultimate rights for everything, and Krishna is proprietor of everything, and Krishna acting in the benefit of every living entity by providing every living entity an opportunity to join the beautiful divine world of Goloka Vrindavan and transfer yourself. That's the great news. So, this today we're not going to speak for a really long time. If anybody has any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. Yes, Prem Das.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat to all assembled devotees and the guests and people in Chiang Mai and all over the world. Well, happy to be with you. So I have a question, not in direct relations to Mahabharata, but my question is related to my little seva that I have, thanks to your blessing. I'm talking about the Firefly / Light Bug / Svetlichok club. Well, lately I have a lot of newcomers into our club, and most of this. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So lately I have a lot of newcomers to our every Saturday session with the Lightbug Club, and most of these people are coming from very much esoteric background, and I would say that for me right now, because I came from the same background as well, in a certain way, like all of us, one way or another, I would say that this is the most resilient crowd to get through, because people are coming from very, very strict predisposition of, okay, this level is this level is that, 2 by 2 is definitely 4, never 5, never 3, and stuff like that. And for me, it comes as some kind of a challenge. I'm not rejecting anyone, no way. I'm very glad to every newcomer that comes to join us. Do you have any experience of dealing with the people of this background? And if you can say anything about it, I would truly appreciate it.
That's a very, very good and deep question. And the reason this question is very good, because I recently, believe it or not, you're kind of challenging my thoughts. So when I read the Bhagavad Gita commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti, something came up to the level of karma, their level of jnana, but there's also level of mysticism and the level of bhakti. So alchemy, seed, magic, all this considered to be as an obstacle on spiritual way. And so basically your question is this: people coming to me with big obstacles. And one of their obstacles is they think they know or they believe by understanding certain esoteric things, they can understand reality. But remember, even if you study one little leaf of the tree, and you see the tree, you can't understand reality. You only understand reality when you see the root cause. So Krishna say, I'm the root, I'm hidden root. Root is never visible. So esoteric ideas, we'll understand the branches of this world and every branch, but that's not really what you, by study the biology of tree, does not means it allow you to see the root cause. And specifically in Bhagavad Gita, it's described that the root cause of reality, which comes from Krishna, coming from above. And that's why it's a banyan tree, not just regular tree, because the regular tree roots on the ground, but the highest spiritual tree, the roots are coming from above, from spiritual reality. So roots are like threads, and those threads are connected with spiritual world. So without understanding the spiritual world, because this world is shadow reflection of reality. So, and of course, these people that do some esoteric studies, they come to you with the idea that they already know everything, or they know this, that. But, it's just depending how you talk to them. So sometimes I have Like I have a Zen master that's coming to my lectures, and I'm basically not chastising him because he has too much ego, but I explaining the Zen master that he knows nothing. And I believe that's to him to say, the true Zen masters knows nothing. That's why he's a master, which means he's always eager to learn. So when these guys hear that, his mind change, because I said, unless you have a full pot, there's no new water coming to your pot. So the true Zen master has to empty himself. So once you're doing your club, you can say, in this club, we're trying to become like a Zen masters. Number one, we empty our own pot, and then we share things. So we don't want to share something that comes from our mental plane. We want to empty our mind to open our heart. So Svitlячок is to give the light. It's the light bug. It's to be light, and light is your natural quality. So if you want, I can write you, or you can write a statement of this place. You can say, it's not about to show how your mind is powerful. It's not about being great. It's to invoke your inner light in order to accept and receive. So in Pythagoras school, first year, he would inquire his students to be silent, just to learn how to listen. So learning how to listen is important. So as somebody who's running the club, you're a great listener. But when you start listen, people, they start to reveal you things. And the things is not perfect. So then you have to, as a listener, also set up the vibe by which people express their deeper spiritual self, not their consciousness, not their knowledge, it's their subconsciousness. So if you can establish this kind of rule, and you write this kind of rule that we're talking about light of the soul, we're not talking about light of the mind. It's not like we have Einstein and brilliant minds that come here to enlighten humanity. No, Svitlячок means the soul by definition is the power of energy of light. So the soul itself can be. So if you just come to our club and listen, you may benefit more. So, it's like you're dealing with different type of crowd, but as a preacher, as somebody who's trying to spread Krishna consciousness, it's like a fight. So remember, you're dealing with the fight. You're not facilitating crazy people and mental institution. What you're facilitating is the people to hear their inner self and to turn towards Krishna consciousness. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much, Maharaj. But I would like to add one more thing, that for about last year or so,
yes,
probably, since last summer of 2024, I'm starting every meeting, the Lightbug Club, with the words that this is not a sermon, this is not a preaching. What we do here is considering our free conversation as an offering to our most experienced devotees and to our gurus and to our Guru Varga. It specifically offering. I'm using this word every time when I'm opening the circle of conversation. And you know what? It's not just a figure of speech for me, because that's the way I consider it. Our discussion is an offering. And I wouldn't say that I'm kind of disappointed or offended by somebody's statement of esoteric thoughts or materialistic or any other congregational thoughts. Not at all. If we sincerely agree upon the basis that this is an offering to you, to our other gurus and Guru Varga and Parampara, I think one way or another, slowly but surely, we will be getting through the eyes of some kind of a predispositions, calculations, formulas, and so-called jnana or knowledge. I know how. Tell me if there is anything wrong with this position. Of course there is, but if there is anything wrong with my position in relations to my listeners and people who coming to have a conversation, I would be happy to hear what you think about it.
Well, I mean, as you understand, the principle is one, but every situation is different. So you do have that principle, which you're trying to state But sometimes, like I remember one time when I was just, maybe 20 years ago, as the first sannyasi traveled to Odessa, they invite me to some kind of a yoga place. And some people start telling like, oh, everything is Shiva, Krishna is, but I chastised them so heavy. I said, you have no idea about the glories of Lord Shiva. And I started speaking about glories of Lord Shiva. And these people was shocked. And I said, and think of this, being so glorious is always chanting the name of Ram and Krishna. And he also participated in Gaur Leela. So after that, a lot of people turned into Vaishnavas. And I didn't have to blaspheme Shiva. I had to glorify Shiva, but I blaspheme the ignorant Shiva followers by showing them that they have no idea what Shiva consciousness is. So, sometimes it doesn't mean that they always sometimes giving the sweet medicine, sometimes you're giving bitter medicine, sometimes you're arguing with people, but you don't have to argue from the ego perspective. Sometimes, like a Socrates, you can ask them questions. Do you know what I'm saying? Socrates never told somebody, you fool. He will tell you, what do you think? Is you and I a genius or not? It's his dialectics. So you can use dialectics because you're an intelligent person and you know how to deal with people. So it doesn't have to be fist fight. It could be a dialectical way that the person himself will enter the trap of his own mind. And that is the highest form of preaching. That's what Srila Avadhut Maharaj did in time of Saraswati Thakur, because one man was just trolling Saraswati Thakur and asking him a stupid question. And then Guru Maharaj said to Saraswati Thakur, he said, Gurudev, can I just talk to this man? And he finally spoke with him. And finally, man made, accept Saraswati Thakur authority. And Saraswati Thakur was very impressed. He said, how come I spoke to this man for 1 hour and he asked me his stupid questions again and again and again? But after talking to you 20 minutes, he came down and he gave his dandavats and his surrender. And Guru Maharaj said, because I understood this man logic. See, Gurudev, you're always in the highest level, but by your grace, I was preacher. And by going to preach to different locations, I discovered similar type of mistakes that people have. And I explained to him his mistake. So by follow my explanation, he's very, very easy to accept your greatness, because you were trying to tell him truth directly, but I just told him things about he doesn't thinks that it's putting him in a trap. In other words, he changed the tactics and strategies, like in a warfare. You need to change strategy and tactics. You have to see what works, what doesn't work. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. It may be working with some other person, like intelligent person or a smart person, but it may not work with this kind of person. So you have to find the key. And sometimes there would be the key for the heart. And sometimes you have to show them, hey, look, I'm an authority. I also know a lot of things. Like for instance, when you're coming to the show business meeting and you'll have some amateur that's speaking about shows and it's wrong, you're not telling them you're stupid, you're idiots. But what you tell them is like, hey, when I did this show with Beatles, I did like this. And then this is it. You don't have to explain, you're wrong. You just say, yeah, when I've been working with Beatles, George Harrison, this was the idea of the show. I think it was very good. It, drew a lot of people. So in this case, you don't have to explain, oh, I'm a great director. I've been working with stars. You just tell them like very simple, one word, and that word means a lot. So, and then these people, if they're stupid, they will not understand. But if they're not, they'll take you seriously.
Usually, when the people are totally out. Oh, sorry. Just remark with your passage. Some people, who are usually definitely wrong and definitely convinced that they're right, when you proceed with them like that and say, when I worked with the Beatles, you know what follows? Usually they're asking, if they are smart. Who are the Beatles? Because not a lot of people know who the
Yeah,
Beatles
but that's I'm just trying. I'm just trying to say. I'm just trying to say, if that is the level of people, then you just take something what they know. So you change your strategy. Like basically what I explained to you. It's like you've got to, you know, one purpose. You want to open people's hearts, and by doing that, so you try different key. And you see, like, remember, you're like the lock picker. Remember, there was like great lock pickers. They could open any bank, they could crack any bank, but it does not mean they do it immediately. It takes some time to get the proper quality of substance. You're dealing with the highest spiritual substance. Remember, highest spiritual substance. So when somebody asks you, so you've been doing esoteric, you can say, yes, I've learned some esoterics. What are you interested in right now? I'm interested in highest spiritual substance. Not Buddhism, not pranayama. You're doing yoga for physical, mental well-being. But what through spiritual things, Krishna conscious interest of the soul. So my point is with Prem Das is that you know what you are. I mean, you have to be confident in what you're doing. And confident means is your belief. You may not know everything about everything, but you're confident and what you're doing is great. And remember, this is your project given to you by your guru and devotees, and you're running the show. And sometimes you just have to tell some people, shut up and listen. I mean, in a nice form. It does not mean that you're giving everybody audience. You know what I'm saying? You're giving audience of the heart, not audience of the crazy brain. And that's why you monitor conversation. And you can say, okay, let's talk about something else. All right, thank you so much. You express very deep thing. We'll think about, you know, like you don't have to always go with the flow of people. Like you running the show, you don't let them run the show. They participate in the show that you're running. Does that make sense? Hello?
Totally, it does make sense, and I truly appreciate your words and advice. Tomorrow we have a festival in Moscow, Meditation Day, and around 4 p.m. We have a light bug club, so to speak, run with a random crowd who will come, who will buy the tickets, who will join us. And your advices are priceless right now, Maharaj, and thank you for all devotees for listening, because your listening is also advice for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, think of this. Humility does not mean that you are stupid. You're humble, but you're not stupid. And you are like a doctor. Or you let somebody express the disease, but you don't want to pollute everybody else. So as a doctor, you tell them, okay, thank you. I've got your point. I understand what's in your mind right now, but let me talk. Like, so you're running, like it's very simple. You're doing this wonderful service by connecting people together on the highest possible vibration of Krishna consciousness. You know, let's say we can get together, we can talk about art, or we can talk about music, or we can talk about mysticism, but you're doing, your job is to bring everybody on level of Krishna consciousness, on the highest level. And that's what you have to tell people. My idea is like we're going to be on the highest level of heart sharing, a level of soul, because soul always has the light. And that's where, you know, gurus also give us gyan. Guru give us karma, service. So it's not, it has nothing to do with guru. It has to do with your perception. So perception on which level you see Krishna. because you're not able to see Krishna immediately on the highest level of love. You have to go through karma and jnana, especially when you're not prepared to full surrender when Krishna accepts you. When Krishna accepts you and your heart, your soul has unconditional divine love, then we're talking about bhakti. But you don't have that. You're not on that level yet. So that's why you're going to a progressive side. It has nothing to do with Guru Parampara. It has to do with your perception. Like the Guru tells you, read Bhagavad Gita. You can read Bhagavad Gita as the karma book. You can read Bhagavad Gita as the jnana book. And you can read Bhagavad Gita with love and devotion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one time was traveling in South India and he met one Brahmana who could not read properly Bhagavad Gita, but he was crying. So he asked this Brahmana, why are you crying? And this Brahmana said, I'm not qualified to read Sanskrit, but every time I think that Krishna, as a part of Saradi, drove chariot of Arjuna, this feeling that God's so great, but he can drive his devotee through, navigate, make me cry. And Mahaprabhu said, you're the best knower of Bhagavad Gita. You are the expert of Gita because your perception of Bhagavad Gita, it's not based on Sanskrit or intellectualism. It's you do have that feeling of devotion that Krishna is friend of Arjuna, Krishna is saving Arjuna. Therefore, you are the highest knower of Bhagavad Gita. And other people could argue that say, well, that guy does not know Sanskrit. He does not remember all the slokas. He may not do this, that, or that. But Krishna, in form of Mahaprabhu, he defined what is the highest knowledge. Who can argue with that? You got it to me?
Avadhut Maharaj, the question is how to address to the people who follow in the scientific way. They keep asking why you should need the God, because science explains everything is one point. And second, they say, and if God exists, why you limit him by form? It is kind of anthropomorphism when you understand that God should be human-like. Or how to deal with
Yeah. Well, Einstein had a form. You have a form.
those people.
So why something else cannot have a form? Number one. Number two, why do we have to deal with scientists? Actually, it's almost useless. I went to this several scientific conferences and people had long intellectual jugglery. So, but it does not mean that scientists like Professor Sanyal cannot become a devotee. So, Jnana Prasana Udapasana Manteva, you have to go beyond intellectual level to be able to understand reality. So, intellect is an obstacle because it had limit within senses and gunas of material world as perception, self-perception. So, people asking the stupid questions because of self-perception. If I'm on perfect form, why God has a form? He has perfect form. Like it's unperfect, inquiry about perfect with his unperfect skills and mindset. First of all, you have to convince scientists he's perfect. Does he really understand everything? The science really can explain everything. And true scientists tell you there's so many things that science are not explaining. It's not in the jurisdiction of experiments. Science means experimentation, continuous experimentation, data. That's how science works. Science is the job of a blind man. Because blind men, touch something, feel something. And when you can see things, things become different. They're obvious. So just consider you're dealing with a bunch of blind people and they tell you, oh, why you need eyes? Well, because to see, what it means to see, these people will not understand because their definition of reality is different. But the fish under deep water and deep ocean have no eyes because they have nothing to see. So they just experience with their little blue. So That's okay. That's cool for them. So remember, you don't have to convince anybody. You have to conquer people's heart. That's what Govinda Maharaj's idea was. If Govinda Maharaj would meet with scientists, he'll not try to argue with them. He tried to charm them with his Vaishnava heart. And scientists would say, yes, I met Vaishnava. He was very nice to me. I told him so many things, but he was very kind. He listened to me, just like a baby. So, don't always try to be more generous than Mother Yashoda and more deep than Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj met all kinds of people, but with a lot of people, he just deal with heart. So by nature, you have affectionate heart and you're taking care of people. So just give them sweet bowl, listen to their bullshit, and they'll be happy. Remember, most scientists, they want to be published, they want to be here, they want to be recognized, just like children. So you listen to them, you recognize, and then when they come back, they'll be your #1 promoter. So when you deal with scientists, just change the strategy. And strategy is affection, and you are a very affectionate person. You know how to take care of people. You know how to make them feel great. Make people feel great, and they will give you their hearts. That's my recommendation to you, and I know you're capable of it. Somebody else would want to argue, I would say, do it, but you have different mindsets. So you know how to deal with politicians, you know how to deal with Indians, you know how to deal with scientists. So follow Govinda Maharaj. He's giving us the keys. And once they give you your heart and appreciation, they become your friend. Remember, people are not accepting truth immediately. It comes in time. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for amazing talk. Thank you, Priti Prabhu. I wish one time we could talk. I was going to call you. I was a little busy here with all these people today, Bhagavad Gita meeting, Mahabharata meeting, and I'm moving to America soon. But it's amazing to see and speak in English, and wonderful questions. I just think we have to preach. Everything else, Krishna will take care. So that's our aim, to preach, and who will accept or not accept, that's Krishna's will. My Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Maharaj, Shri Avadhut Maharaj ki jai.
Yeah. Love everybody. Thank you so much for Narayan Didi. Thanks for all the translators, all the team. Love you all. Krishna bless you. Haribo, Prem Das, wonderful talk. Prita Prabhu, all others, Subal, and all wonderful devotees and devotees. Stay in touch. Hare Krishna.